You know, I visited Oxford and I was just enjoying the experience so much, but there was, at the time, it's not there anymore, a plaque that referenced the offloading of the prisoners from the Battle of Culloden. And of course, George's War, they had been imprisoned for 2 years, and he just wanted to get rid of them. You know, they were a problem for him. So Oxford ended up with them. And this plaque referred to them. Well, then I walked around the corner and there was the Robert Morris Inn with, of course, a painting of Robert Morris Jr., who was the financier of the American Revolution. Signed all 3 founding documents. And I'm sitting here looking, you know, there's a great deal of time difference between these 2 events. And so I went home and looked up a little bit, and the next thing I knew, I found myself at the NAB Center at Salisbury University. And I found Robert Morris Sr.'s last will and testament. His will is just remarkable, and what's even more remarkable is that he mentions his housekeeper, Sarah Wise, an enslaved woman, Yeary, and an enslaved man, Jackson, who I think he said was of absolutely no worth, you know. So I was off and running. 3 people who existed in the time in this great man's home, and their stories were never told. People want to focus on Robert, but I think the 2 women, I think Yeary and Sarah, one a black enslaved woman, and the other one a white woman who was a housekeeper. They had a very complex relationship, and of course, that is a figment of my imagination as well. I made Yeary Sarah's slave instead of Robert Morris's. They had grown up together at the same time in the same household and slept in the same bed, and you know, but the opportunities that were given to them were far different, of course. And Sarah is blind, just blind to the fact that she is really Yeary's oppressor. From our viewpoint, that is very clear, because Sarah is always thinking of her own victimhood at the hands of Robert Morris. You know, I had all these real people, but the 3rd woman in the story who enters the home is really a child, and she's totally a figment of my imagination.
She's the Dutch, what's her name?
Crete. Crete, yes, yeah. And I play a little bit with her being a girl or dressing like a boy, and that key ingredient provides the climax of the story, the twist at the very end. That relationship is so important to the central point of the book that, you know, we can carry on in our lives and not realize how we're using other people. And it seems to be pervasive in all of society at that time. You know, everybody, while Grete is the one who has humor and is gifted and brings laughter to people's hearts, at the same time, you know, you're looking at a society that is built upon what I can get from other people who are beneath me.